What's going on, guys? Luis here with another install video for you guys. This one in particular is on the Ingles ETD, or engine torque damper, also known as the Stiffy, quote unquote. That's what it says on the box, so that's what I call it too sometimes. So let's look under the hood and see if it's even gonna fit with my DC strut tower bar that I have on there. If you guys remember on the unboxing video of this, I made a note that if I had to choose between one or the other in this specific situation, I'm just gonna go with the ETD. I think I have a lot more advantage in this vehicle with an ETD versus the strut bar, so hopefully it will fit. But with that being said, let's check it out. Alright, so if you guys can see right here, this is the DC Sports CS1 strut bar that I have for my S2000, and this is the bracket that's actually going to sit behind it, right in front of the valve cover right here on the head, on the cylinder head and everything. But if you look closely, this one hole right here is where the actual damper is going to be hooked up on to the other one over here. Is going to be basically the bracket that sits right here, the damper, and then it's going to hook up on here to this part right here. But if you look closely, when it's sitting on there, it's not going to fit because it's got to sit right in front of it. So because of that, I'm going to have to remove the strut tower bar for me to be able to install it. And like I said before, if I had to choose between the strut tower bar or the Ingles engine torque damper, I'm going to go with the torque damper because there's more advantage for the S2000 with that installed. So let's get this removed so we can start with the actual install. Alright, so as you guys can see, the strut bar is now removed. So the next step is, since the bolts are already removed, next step is to grab this bracket piece right here and just put it on these two bolts that are right here on the upper strut, and just set it down right there, and then that part is done. Alright, while you're here, make sure you grab your new bolts and of course tighten them down to specification, since you're not going to need to mess with this again. So make sure you don't forget that. If I didn't say so before, these are 14mm bolts, so just to keep in mind. Also, on the side of the engine, you want to take this bolt off right here. This one right here, as you can see, it's like an Allen key. And then down here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like this 14mm bolt that's right in here. Let me see if I can get a light for you. And then right in here, that 14mm bolt needs to come off. Next, you want to grab this long bolt that comes with hardware on the Ingles ETD. This one of these washers, and of course this spacer. And this is basically going to go on the bracket and mount up to the engine. It is basically going to look like this. The bolt is going to go into that, to the washer, and then of course the spacer, and then this of course is going to go into the motor. So let's get that put in, and then we'll get to the ones that go right here. Alright, so next up you want to grab these two bolts right here with the Allen key at the end. Basically where they're going to go is going to go right there. The other one's back there. This one's going to be a little tight fit, so I'm probably going to have to work with this a little bit, but yeah, that's where they go. So let's put those on there right now. Alright, so next up, if you can see right in here, there's this sensor right here on the VTEC solenoid. So it's basically just the ground that it's attached to. So you want to move that from this position over here to this position. And once I'll do that, I'll show you really fast so that you can see. Let me get a closer look so that you can see this one's going to get removed, and it's going to be moved down to this one. Alright, as you can see, it used to be over here. Now the ground is over here on this side of the VTEC solenoid. Basically, you just have to make room because the damper is going to sit right in here. Alright, so next up, you grab these two O-rings, the actual Stiffy, and then of course the supplied hardware, because now it's the installation of the Stiffy. Alright, so next up, it's the actual installation of the Stiffy. So you want to grab it, and essentially basically what's going to go is this long portion right here. You can see this this side is shorter than this side. The longer portion goes against the chassis and under like this, right? And then this side is going to mount up to the actual motor itself. However, in order to do that, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need this right here. Alright, so as you can see, it's going to go like this. The little rubber O-ring that they gave us has to go between the actual Stiffy and the chassis, so you got to make sure that it's in there. before you put it down. Like, if you can see, put it in there like that. Don't forget your O-ring, put it in, and then the actual stiffy, and then of course do not forget your bottom bolt. Once that's in there, you want to do the exact same thing onto the other side. All right, before I tighten it, I want to see if I can try to show you. All right, so if you can see, it's the actual bolt, the washer, then the stiffy itself, and then in there between the bracket and the actual stiffy itself, there's the rubber O-ring in there, and then of course the bolt to close it. So once we seal it up, it should be pretty much done already. So let's get to tighten this up so that we can finish this job up. And there you go, it is fully installed. Alright guys, so there you go. The installation is very straightforward, very easy. Also, the instructions are pretty good. They're not the best instructions ever, but they are pretty good. So if you're, like I said before in the unboxing video, if you're mechanically inclined, the instructions should be more than enough to get you going. But there's no fear in this installation because it's very easy. I know these kinds of things can be intimidating to the new guys, but it's very easy. So definitely let me know in the description down below or in the comments down below whether or not you guys like it, if you guys actually see a difference or whatever the situation. I know behind the wheel it feels a lot different. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and catch you guys on the next video.